This is WWE's true women's GOAT. You know, the greatest of all time? Well, for years the debate has raged. Who is the single greatest woman to ever step foot inside of a WWE ring? We've seen legends, trailblazers, and dominant champions, but when you break in all them, when you get down to the accolades, the impact, the moments, and the sheer will, one name consistently arises above the rest. Today, we're not going to be just talking about, let's have a conversation. What do you think? What do you think? No. We're ending it. We're telling you why this person is the true women's GOAT. And that person is the man, Becky Lynch. She is the real WWE women's GOAT. Sure, she's a brand champion, a multiple-time world champion, and has broken records. But Becky Lynch's claim to the GOAT status goes far beyond gold, y'all. We're talking about the culture impact and changing the game. From main eventing WrestleMania 35, becoming Becky Two Belts, the organic explosion of the man persona that captivated WWE fans worldwide, her peak was unlike anything we've seen. We'll revisit why those moments are so legendary. Today, we're going to be laying out the definitive, undeniable case for Becky Lynch as the true greatest of all time in WWE Women's Wrestling, looking at her entire body of work, her ability to connect as both as a babyface and as a heel, and her lasting legacy on WWE. Prepare to be convinced, y'all, because I think if you look at it, you have to go brick by brick. Okay, let's talk about historical achievements in first. She was the first ever woman to main event of WrestleMania. That's 35. That's WrestleMania 35, 2019, the longest WrestleMania known to mankind. That was her going up against Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. She held both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, aka Becky Two Belts, following this. She was the winner of the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble match, setting the stage for this. She is a Grand Slam champion in WWE. Think about this. She has held the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, NXT Women's Championship, and Women's Tag Team Champion. She's also an NXT champion. But I already said that, so what else is new? Let's talk about championship dominance and versatility. Multiple reigns as Raw Women's Champion, including a record-setting 399-day run. Multiple runs as SmackDown Women's Champion / Women's World Champion. A winner of the NXT Women's title, proving her influence across every brand that WWE has to offer. A two-time Women's Tag Team Champion, showcasing her ability to not only be a single star, but a tag team star. Let's talk about her unprecedented popularity in the man persona, organically rising to the occasion to become one of the most popular superstars in WWE history. That's male or female during her man run era, 2018 to 2019. The man character was a culture phenomenon, resonating deeply with WWE fans due to its anti-authority, confidence, and authentic feel. The exceptional ability to connect with an audience and generate massive reactions, whether as a defiant babyface or a heel-seeking heel. Think about this. She is one of few to share the ring with the who's who of this business. I'm talking about Steve Austin, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Steve Austin, okay? She was that person. She was the saving grace of that 2019 year, in my opinion. Think about it. That was the same year that Roman Reigns was doing dog food segments with Baron Corbin. Now let's talk about her impact on the women's revolution / evolution, her contribution to it. She was essential and defining figure in elevating the status and the perception of women's wrestling in WWE. She consistently delivered high-profile, main event caliber matches and storylines that pushed women's wrestling to new heights. Her in-ring ability and storytelling, known for intense, believable in-ring performances and strong storytelling within her matches. She had a critically acclaimed feuds and matches against the who's who of this industry. Think about it. She has feuded and had notable programs with Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, Asuka, Bianca Belair, and now Lyra Valkyria, soon to be Bayley as well. Her longevity and re-intervention has kept her on the top tier status of being a top tier star for many years, successfully evolving her character multiple times, from the Irish butt kicker to the man to big time Bex to now with a more ruthless kill persona. Her ability to stay relevant and be at the forefront of storylines across all different eras and brands underscores her with the GOAT credential. So with everything that I just said, from championship runs to legendary feuds to reinventing herself to longevity to culture impact, that is why I believe in this definitive list that Becky Lynch is truly the women's GOAT in WWE, the greatest of all time. Now, let's be a little transparent, shall we? Let's have a little transparency. This list has changed over time for me. Becky Lynch was not always at the top of my list. No. For the longest time, I had it at Trish Stratus. And then it went to Charlotte Flair. And now it's to Becky. And I'll tell you why. Trish Stratus was truly ahead of her time. She was always just a little bit ahead of where the business was going. But she had such an impact on today's women's wrestling that I felt like she earned the spot. But she was really more of a pioneer as it goes. Yes, she took women's wrestling seriously. Yes, she set the foundation of how women should look at and work in a serious role, but she was just ahead of her time. Charlotte Flair is someone that does have the in-ring skills, does have the promo skills, and does have the character down. She does have the pushes. She does have the matches. She does have the championships. But not everyone respects Charlotte Flair. Think about this. There is a huge difference between not liking someone yet respecting them. Then there's a whole other level where you do not like them, nor do you respect them. And Charlotte Flair, the more she goes in this game, falls into that category. Not everyone is a Charlotte Flair fan, and more commonly, not everyone respects Charlotte Flair. So when we're talking about GOATs, when we're talking about greatest of all times, that hurts her discussion. That hurts her standing, because you have to be able to have the respect for your peers and fan base, right? John Cena, case in point. You may have not liked John Cena as a babyface. You may not like John Cena as a heel now, but you best do respect the man. You cannot knock him for his artwork. You cannot knock him for his work ethic, right? That is the difference between Charlotte Flair and John Cena. You can be disliked, but you have to have the respect of fans of peers. John Cena has that, right? First guy in, last one to leave. That's not to say that Charlotte Flair doesn't work hard, but with Becky Lynch, you may not like her as a babyface. You may not like her as a heel, but you respect the work ethic. You respect the drive, the determination, the character, and what she's been able to do. For longevity, changing things up, having noticeable cues, having noticeable matches, etc. That is why, in my opinion, Becky Lynch is the GOAT. That is why she has surpassed Charlotte Flair as the GOAT. And I think as time goes on, not only is Becky going to back up that theory that she is truly the women's GOAT, because of all of those base points and all of those talking points, but I think Charlotte Flair will also prove why she's not the GOAT the longer she goes.